In this video, I want to talk about a little tool, a trick that you can use to refill old pen cartridges instead of buying new cartridges and using bottled ink, which is usually more economical, to fill your cartridges. Now, these are Sheaffer pens that I'm using. This is a Sheaffer mini kit, calligraphy kit. And what I'm recommending is that you save your old cartridges. So in the mini kits they give you 4, and sometimes with the older vintage kits, all of the ink has dried out. So what you can do is put them on your nib anyway to get a hole in them, and then wash those out and reuse them. So this is Sheaffer ink. I was using vintage script, which used to be permanent red writing fluid. You can't see it, I'm blurring it. That right there says writing fluid, but that was empty when I went to use it, so I had to buy new Sheaffer ink. This is red. I also got green. You can do this with any fountain pen ink that you have. Now, this is a Viewpoint pen made in USA before everything switched to China, and a hard, non-rubber section on the nib. Right now it has a cartridge in it. This is a school pen, a Sheaffer school pen from like the 1960s. And with these, if you've looked at Sheaffer ink converters, which are maybe the first choice before going to what I'm going to show you, these do not fit the school pens. They're too long for the old school pens. And then this is a modern Viewpoint, the one with the window. These, I believe, are made in China. It's a snap-off lid instead of a screw-on cap, and it has the rubber grip. Also with Parker pens, I think just about anything that takes a cartridge you can do this with. So I've just purchased some syringes. And what I had done years ago was use a Kohinoor bulb syringe with a basketball filling needle, taped, glued, however I had to get it on there. And what I used to do with the bulb syringe is fill the syringe with ink and refill cartridges. Well, finally, people have, and I hate to say it, caught up with me. And commercially now, you can buy a syringe with a needle specifically for filling ink cartridges and completely non-medical. Excuse me. So I'm going to show you how you do this. They come separate. It's a very wide needle, definitely non-medical. And what you're going to do, this is a vintage cartridge that I had used the ink of, and there is a hole in the end of it. With a new cartridge, you want to have the blue hard end away from the nib. And so if I were to use this cartridge, the grayish end would go on the nib, and then that's where the hole would be for me to refill the cartridge. So what you do is you put the needle onto the syringe. You're not going to need very much ink in the syringe. That's not very much at all. It's about a ½ inch. And then I do this over the ink bottle in case anything leaks. And it takes, I just want to use a little bit of force to get the needle in there. So there is the needle in the cartridge. And you don't have to go very deep in at all. And then you just squeeze the ink out of the syringe and into the cartridge. So that about a half an inch is a little less than I wanted to put in there. You can experiment with it. And then you can just wash the syringe out and move on to the next cartridge, the next color. Let me put this right there so it doesn't roll all over the place. And here is another empty school pen. And I'm just going to pop this cartridge into the school pen like that and screw the nib back in. And I now have ink in my school pen using an old cartridge. Very simple to do, and Sheaffer inks are wonderful, wonderful inks. And they're economical from the Sheaffer website itself, I believe. They're $10 a bottle. Excuse me. It's 1.69 ounces, which is not bad. Comes in a nice little box. They only charge $1 for shipping. And very nice ink. An easy way to refill any of your fountain pens by using their cartridges.